Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Ron Mackenzie Lafergie. There are some pretty terrible games out there. I've touched on some of them in other videos, but sometimes a game is just so bad that it goes all the way around and is good again. These are some of the best, worst games out there where you can just zone out and enjoy them without all that pesky thinking nonsense. So give your brain a rest and get ready because it's time for the top 10 video games so bad, they're awesome. Number 10. Deadly Premonition. Deadly Premonition was a survival horror game from 2010 and reviews were heavily divided. The game is best known for being extremely chaotic and weird with lousy graphics and controls. To some, this game was terrible. Bad voice acting, weird characters, crazy story, and just overall lousy. But to others, it's so wonderfully strange and whimsical and gruesome that it's epic. It was also made better with the release of the director's cut, which polished it up and gave it an extended ending. Give it a try if you're a fan of the weird, but I'd highly advise the director's cut. Number 9. Two Worlds. Two Worlds came out back in 2007, a year after Oblivion, which would make you think it would be pretty polished. Nope. For whatever reason, the game creators decided to voice the characters themselves. Incredibly awkward and fake Old English vocabulary spoken with mostly American accents, combined with largely expressionless actors, gives you one painfully voiced game. That said, there were some pretty neat monsters, a decent number of spells, and a bunch of factions, which is pretty sweet. Plus, the voices are so terrible that they're super entertaining. Now, I'm a bit biased because Two Worlds was the first RPG I ever played, so it was all just a magical experience for me. But I still love it, even though it's kind of poop, especially compared to Oblivion. Number 8. Survival Arts. Survival Arts was a Mortal Kombat style arcade fighting game from 1993, and it's widely viewed as one of the worst games of this type ever. The characters looked lousy and were very large, the actors clearly didn't know how to fight, the game was imbalanced, and the moves were just frustrating to play against. However, many of these ridiculous aspects actually make the game pretty hilarious to play. Even if you're getting destroyed because the other person just keeps using the stupid frickin' machine gun, you can still take solace in the fact that the game is hilariously lame, and revel in the fact that someone made that game and went, yep, that'll do. Number 7. Manhunt. Manhunt is not for everyone. Let's get that out of the way right now. It's an unforgiving and incredibly brutal stealth action game with 24 levels. It's also one of the most absurdly violent games ever created, to the point where it's kind of stupid. That said, if you're able to just accept it and enjoy it, it's kind of a blast. Plus, Brian Cox does voice acting in it, which is just awesome. I love reading the reviews for this one. You'll read one that says, "This can't be a game, this is trash," and then one that sincerely says, "This game is one of the best made to date." Talk about divisive. Number 6. Harvester. Harvester was a point-and-click adventure from 1996, so right there you kinda know that it won't be the king of games. Then you find out it uses full-motion video, and you get a bit more worried. Then you find out that it's a really strange horror that's confusing, stupid, and frustrating, and you might just say screw it and put it away. But don't! Because Harvester, while totally messed up, can actually be pretty awesome if you play it with the right attitude. Just sit back and go along for the ride. Enjoy the gory strangeness. It's even been compared to Twin Peaks in that respect, so if you like Twin Peaks, maybe give it a shot. Number 5. Blood Rain. Half human, half vampire, all woman. No, seriously, that's the tagline. That's your first sign that this won't be the most thought-provoking of games, and it really isn't. But you know what it is? A game where you play as a sexy vampire woman who carves dudes up with swords. It's like Lara Croft meets Celine from Underworld meets a stripper. It's pretty silly and clearly using sex to sell, but honestly there are some pretty badass moments. Drink enough blood, you go into a blood rage and just go bananas tearing apart zombies and Nazis, and it's just ridiculous gory fun. Not the best graphics or controls, but like, just smash the buttons and something will happen. Number 4. Shaq Fu. Okay, this may come off as a bit of a flip-flop because I've already used Shaq Fu in our worst games video. But as stupid as it is to have Shaq doing Kung Fu, on the other hand, you're playing as Shaq doing Kung Fu. That's amazing. This isn't some kind of deep, thoughtful fun that you get playing games like Portal or Wolf Among Us. It's just straight up turn off your brain because it's time to enjoy the stupidest thing ever kind of fun. Yes, it's a bad game, but it's Shaq doing Kung Fu. It's awesome. And it couldn't be any worse than his foul shooting. Number 3. Link: The Faces of Evil. There is some dispute as to which Zelda game is the best, but there can be no argument about the worst, because this is it.
Do you know what it means when you lose your last ruby? Now you work for me!
Link the Faces of Evil was a CDI game from 1993 that took Link, the beloved star of the Zelda franchise, and just pissed all over him. It was not pretty, and ironically, Link's face looks pretty damn evil.
I just wonder what Ganon's up to.
And putting Link in a stupid side-scroller was terrible, but at the same time, it's just amazing. It's kind of like the video game version of that video where the woman falls when stomping grapes. It's painful, but you just can't stop. Plus, the backgrounds are pretty nice, and it's actually considered one of the better CDI games out there. The only problem is, that isn't saying much because CDI sucks.
Squadala, we are off!
Number 2. Desert Bus. Around the time that Penn and Teller were blowing up in pop culture, they came out with a Sega CD game called Penn and Teller Smoke and Mirrors. In the game were a bunch of ridiculous mini-games. My personal favorite was Desert Bus, where you drove from Tucson, Arizona to Las Vegas, Nevada, in real time, for 8 hours, without pausing. It was created to be as boring and inoffensive as possible to poke fun at the rising movement claiming that video games were corrupting kids. It was the worst thing ever, but that made it pretty great. To be clear, this wasn't fun at all, but it's pretty awesome. Number 1. Pretty much any Kusaka game. Turns out it isn't exactly uncommon to enjoy terrible games simply because they're terrible. It's so prevalent in Japan that there is actually a word for this, Kusage, which translates to game. These games are often created to be as terrible as possible, with ridiculous bugs, awful voice acting, atrocious graphics, and stupid gameplay. And they're hilarious, both playing and watching them. Now check out the Cho Aniki series. They're ridiculously campy games that just... words fail to describe them. Just watch. I don't want to include too many on this list, but let me know in the comments if you'd like a top 10 Kusaka game list, because holy moly, there are a lot of winners. That's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please smack that thumbs up button and subscribe to Top 10 Gaming for more videos. What's the worst game you've ever played? Did you enjoy it? Let me know in the comments section down below. Until next time, I'm Ron McKenzie LaFergie with Top 10 Gaming. Later, gamers.